Okay. Hi, good morning, everybody, and thank you for being on this Saturday call. It is excited to see all your beautiful faces, and this line is being recorded, the Zoom, so please tag your team later if they were unable to get on for other reasons. Today's flow is going to be, Christy has some announcements to talk to you about and a couple of things that she needs to touch on, and then we'll finish with me with three-way calls and questions and answers. Okay, so Christy, take it away.
All right, you guys, good morning, and thank you for being live. And if you're on the replay, thank you for watching on the replay. This is going to be our team Empire call, and we're going to do this every Saturday. This is going to replace the Engage University. That is going to be no longer available, so we're doing this every Saturday. This was a time that you guys voted on because of our crazy schedule, Trey's crazy schedule. He's actually doing this business around a full-time, very busy job. So this is his part-time story. So we were able to do it Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So this is the time that you guys said would be the best. So that's what we're going with. And so I appreciate you taking time out of your Saturday. I want to make sure that you grab a pen because I have we have lots to go over. And then jot down questions so you can answer, we can answer your questions at the very end. So like I said, this is going to be a weekly call every Saturday. Will be recorded and posted to the #Empire Group. And if you can, mute your line if you haven't already. But just know that you're going to have top leaders in our organization that will be speaking on different topics every week. Patty, Jessica, Aaron are going to be joining us as well. So I'm very excited about that. Maybe every once in a while we can get Dave Namelka on, and I'm going to really shoot to see if I could get Dr. Prasad on one time. I think that would be really fun. So so we could kind of pick his brain. So I'm gonna work on that. So, or maybe I'll have Trey work on that for me. But and we value your input. So we really want to hear, what do you guys want to learn more about? Is it sampling? Is it the three-way calls? Is it sit downs? Just let us know the topics that you'd like to talk about, and we will do our best to address those topics for you. So that's awesome. And the weekly rhythm, we still have our corporate calls on Monday. Let's go with the Mountain Time is 11 o'clock Mountain Time. And then there's still a Success Saturday. So today was Success Saturday, and that's going to be posted. The replay will be posted in our Empire group as well. So every Saturday, the first Saturday of the month, Patty and Aaron will be doing a training, and you can watch that on the replay or live. So we're still doing that. Everything, all the engaged universities and all the opportunities that were recorded and all the Success Saturdays that were recorded are on engage-university.com. So take a look at that. If you're like, okay, you know what, I really want to learn more details about three-way calls, go to engage-university.com, and there's a whole training on it. I want to learn more about sit-downs, whole training on it. I have a prospect that's a millennial. There's an opportunity webinar there for you. So use those tools to help build your business. This isn't in my notes, but I want to remind you guys to all download the Engage Global app. If you haven't used it already, it's a huge resource, and you're going to use that a lot to get information out, especially when it comes to recruiting. Okay, so there's lots of information in there. And then those of you that participated in the first part of the EV beta, you're going to use that for the customers. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to your sponsor or your upline leaders to help you with that. Hey, I want to congratulate you guys for July. July is typically, like June and July is typically a slow time in the industry, because why? Everybody wants to get out, right? They want to get out, they want to see the sun, they want to be traveling with their family, the kids are off of school. And so typically that's a slow month, but you guys rocked it. You guys rocked it in July. So I'm super excited about that. There was lots of promotions on the promoter side, so on the customer side, and there were lots of promotions on the builder side. So that's very exciting to see our team ranking up and achieving the All of It bonus. A lot of people achieved the All of It bonus, and several of you achieved the All of It boost. So that is really exciting. So congratulations, and I appreciate all your hard work. And staying plugged in to your business and to helping people with these products. These products are amazing. And we all know, Ed knows, I always say, listen with your micro daily ears. When you listen to people, we have a solution to their problem. There's so many people that are suffering from things mentally or physically, and we have a solution for them. So it's a great opportunity in the summer to share around your busy schedule. So I appreciate you guys all, and I'm looking forward to see what happens in August. If you have not got caught up on what's going on in August, there's a lot that changed for August. So there's a call that's posted in our group, and it is the August 1st corporate call. You definitely want to hear that. It's about maybe 55 minutes. It's a little lengthy, but listen to it. Grab a pen, because there's a ton of information in there, and I can't regurgitate it all to you right now because it's just a lot. But the All of It Boost is continuing. It's changed a little bit. We got new starter packs. I wanted to tell you also that the Grab and Go is still available. So the Grab and Go is our protein samples, or, right now the promotion is just for consultants, but our customers can also purchase these products, or the Grab and Go, if they want to use it for traveling. Some people just like to take those, traveling or to work, and put it in their water. And then they don't have to scoop it in a plastic bag. So the Grab and Go, the buy two, get two free, is still available. Only the first 300, or while supplies last. So please mute your line if you can. Thank you. You guys are awesome. And so make sure to grab your Grab and Go before they're all gone, okay? Because that promotion's amazing, and it's not gonna last. So Susan and I was like, yeah, I have a goal. I want to get out 10 samples by Wednesday. Well, she triple dog dared me, because that's just Susan. And she said, hey, how about 15? And I said, okay, I'll do it. And so we have a weekly rhythm. Every Wednesday is our weekly rhythm. Whatever we do by Wednesday, we get paid the following Thursday. So that's kind of how my brain works. And I figure if I get the most samples out in the beginning of the month, then I have a lot of people I can follow up with at the end of the month for products, customers and opportunity. So 15 is my goal. And I posted something in our group. Make sure to pay attention to that page, because there's a lot of good information in there. And tag your team. I would really appreciate that too. But and you guys are doing such a good job with that, by the way. I just love this team. I'm so honored to be doing this with you guys. So my goal is 15. Your goal could be 5. Your goal could be 10. Whatever it is, just set the goal and then do the activity to make it happen. I want our team to really focus on activity, not so much the results, because the results can cause you to go on that emotional roller coaster, right? Like you're high, you're low, you're high, you're low, kind of like living with 2 teenagers. So you definitely want to focus on the activity, because that's the only thing that you can control. So I posted that, like, put your goal in there, and then anytime you got samples out, post it on there. And then on Wednesday, I'll do another drawing for a special gift. So Susan won the last post. So every once in a while, Jessica and I will be doing like a little activity that you guys post your activity, and we'll do a drawing. Okay, so Susan won the last one. Susan, I'll get that in the mail on Monday. I didn't get to it today, sorry. But I'll do another drawing again, probably Thursday. So post what you got your samples out. Every time you get one out, post it, and then we'll do a drawing. All right, so, just an update, double check your numbers for July. So just make sure that nothing changed. If they did change, reach out to me, okay, so I can help you. So just double check your numbers for July. I did post in there too, in the group, how to do that. So if you need to know how to do that, I posted in the group, and you can read that, or let me know if you need help with that. Grab and Go. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into group chat. So I really, really, really believe in third party, okay? It works with your husband, it works with your friends, it works with your parents, it works with your kids. There's power of third party, right? So sometimes people aren't going to always listen to you, even though you may have good intentions, good ideas, good thoughts, but they're like, oh, that's just you. You don't really know much about that, or you always talk about that, or and they just don't really listen to what you're saying. But there's so much power in third party. And that's why our Micro Daily Facebook group is blowing up, and the testimonies are so great because it is third party. It's our third party. So that's part of our system. When we sample or we talk to people about Engage Global or Micro Daily or our other products, we put them in that group because that's our third party. So I really want us to get good at third party tools, which is going to be Evie and the Micro Daily group, but also third party three-way calls and three-way group chats. So for example, you can use a three-way group chat for your team. So say you have somebody that's new. Well, you want to introduce them to more people than you, because the goal of this business is for this business to get away from you. You know, if I go on vacation with Trey, I want you guys to be able to survive without us for a few days, you know, and be able to be resourceful and get your questions answered. And that's the same kind of business that you need to run too. So if you have a new person that joins the team, let's do a three-way group chat. Let's introduce them to a few of your upline leaders. So that way we can all, because you know when people are new, they have a ton of questions, right? And like I can't always get to them in a timely manner. Kathy can't always get to them in a timely manner. Susan, she, you know, all the people on our team, we can't, and the sponsor can't always get to them in a timely manner. So if we have introduced them to several people, 2 or 3 additional people, then somebody can get back to them. And it just makes it more powerful, you know, and there's a power in numbers. So let's use that for welcomes. And definitely you can use your spot. So you'll be the sponsor, your upline leaders, Trey and I, Jessica and Aaron, we're all there. So use us. You don't want to put like 5 people, but I would do 2 or 3. So just go up the food chain. If you don't know, or not the food chain, but you know what I'm saying, go up. And then if you don't know who who's above you and who you should add to the group, just ask me and I'll tell you who you should add to the chats. Three-way group chats are also wonderful for prospects. So if you are don't always know the answer to something, or you just need another story or somebody else's feedback, put your prospect in a three-way group chat with a few other people. And maybe you can mirror match. So if it's somebody that is having questions about weight loss or the Micro Daily, kind of mirror match. Or if somebody has a son that has ADD, definitely add me to that group chat, because I can talk about how this product has helped my son. For high blood pressure, Trey and my mom have amazing results with high blood pressure. Put them in a group chat with my husband and myself and whoever else, and we can answer their questions for them and tell our story. So that way they're hearing it from somebody else. And sometimes, three-way calls, Trey's going to talk about that. That is absolutely the most effective because it's person-to-person talking. But sometimes people don't feel comfortable with that. And so, or maybe your prospect doesn't want to talk to somebody else, but you can throw them in a three-way group chat and we can definitely help answer any questions and close the deal for you. So if you have any additional questions on that, reach out to us and we'll help you, give you details on how you can set up a group chat and who your people are that you would add. Okay, so that's all I have for this morning. I appreciate you guys being on, and then I'm going to jump this Zoom over to Trey, and he's going to talk more about the three-way call. So thanks again.
Hi, thank you, Christy. That was awesome. Lots of info. I appreciate you. First, I need to apologize to you guys. My allergies are killing me, and so if you see me drinking a lot of water or clearing my throat or coughing, it's Christy's fault. So with that being said, we moved to Arizona to it's a dry heat, right? Right, Susan? Allergies are killing us. So please bear with me. So, okay, so I know three-way calls, it could be new to you, or it could be something that you've done for years. Either way, maybe it's a refresher, but it's just something that Christy and I thought it was important to touch on because it can really be an effective tool to help you move and grow your business. So I'm just going to touch on a few things that's really helped Christy and I over the years. And then after I'm done, if you have any questions on three-way calls or comments or stories that you'd like to share for the good of the group, would love to for you to unmute and discuss that with us. Okay, so starting first, let's start with the purpose. The purpose of the three-way call is to basically get more information to your prospect from someone other than yourself. Now, why that's so super important is because normally, probably 7, 8 times out of 10, your prospect either is a family member or a good friend, or at least an associate that knows a lot about you. So, for example, myself, those of you know that I'm a former college basketball coach. Currently, I'm an administrator in a high school district. When I talk to people that know me and know that, they would automatically question, well, what do I know about Engage Global? What do I know about Optimal Health? So that's the purpose, to basically kind of get yourself out of the way and get a so-called expert, someone that knows the business, someone that's working with you in your upline or your downline, that can get that information to them so we can find out what the next step is, whether the next step is to become a consultant or a customer or further information, depends on where they're at. But by the end of that three-way call, you should have a clear vision on where that prospect is so you know what to do next. So let's talk about how we do the hows. So hopefully all of you know how to use your phone to do a three-way call. If you don't, I suggest we practice just to make sure that you know how to do it before we actually dive into a real live three-way call. But beyond that, what you would do is the three-way call with your prospect is usually, I'd say 9 times out of 10, the prospect has seen something. They've seen a video. They've sampled the product. So they already have a little bit of knowledge of what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're prospecting them about, what you're sharing with them about. So the next step would be the three-way call after they've seen something. So how to do that? If I'm on the phone with Frank and I follow up, Frank, hey, I'm just following up. Did you get a chance to check out the video that I sent you yesterday? Frank would say, yes, I did. Seems interesting. I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't know. I probably have some questions, but really, what is this? So at that point, that's where the three-way call would come in. Now, let me back up. The three-way call is something that you would set up prior to the follow-up. Personally, I would probably send out a text to 2, 3, maybe even 4 people to see who's available for a three-way call over the next 30 minutes because you're doing calls. You could be doing multiple calls. And then whoever says yes in that group text, that's who you're going to call and use for your three-way call. I would immediately, as soon as that person says yes, I would just send like a quick, text message about the prospect. Hey, this is a friend of mine in Wisconsin. He's a doctor. He has a private practice in Madison, and he's tried the product. Just something really brief so your expert has an idea on the person that they're conversing with. Okay, so now back to Frank. Frank, did you get a chance to check out the video that I sent you the other day? Frank says, yes, I did check it out. It seems interesting, but I don't know much about it. Obviously I'm not very healthy, right, Frank? So we'll say, we might want to, I might want to learn more, but I really don't know much about it. You know what? I'm new too. So here's a couple of verbiage that you can use. If you're new, I would use I'm new. That's the easiest way to kind of transition yourself out of the way to a third party. You know what? That's a great question. I had those questions too when I got started. I'm brand new, and then I'll show you how to move onto the three-way call. A second verbiage could be if you're a veteran in the business. And obviously your prospect probably knows that you know what you're talking about, but you still want to utilize a third party, okay? I would tell that person, hey, Trey, yeah, I get it, Trey. I've been in the industry for 5 years. I kind of like what I see. I got some questions about the comp plan, how this works, yada, yada, yada. I say, you know what? I had the same questions too, man. I've been doing this a long time with you as well, just in a different company. Let me introduce you to one of my business partners, or let me introduce you to one of my friends that we're working our business together. And I would transition to the three-way call with that person that way. However, whatever verbiage you use, tailor it to that situation or tailor it to your situation. Now, another thing that Christy and I have found super successful, we always tell our prospect when we're transferring to a three-way call, you know what, hey, I'm new too. I'd love to introduce you to my business partner, or I'd love to introduce you to my friend. He or she is super busy. Let me see if I can get them. So I always let people know that because, one, when I do get my my expert on a three-way call, I want to let my prospect know that, you know what, you're important. They're super busy, they're super successful, but they're taking time out of the schedule to talk to you because you're important and you're important to me. The second thing that tells the prospect is, okay, I'm not going to be on the phone forever with some stranger telling me about their product. Okay, so you kind of already put them at ease that this is going to be a quick call and I'm not going to be on the phone forever. So obviously you've already set up the call prior, right? Because you already sent out the text blast. You've already sent out, it's a doctor in Madison, Wisconsin, and he's tried the product. So then once you get your expert on the phone, go ahead and edify them, and then edify your prospect. Do a nice introductory, just a quick 15-second introductory. Edify your expert. You know what? This person is super successful. It's been in the industry for however many years. I love their story. I'm going to get myself out of the way. And you know what? Frank, meet Christy. Christy, this is my friend Frank in Wisconsin. And then put yourself on mute. And then let the expert take it from there. Now, the reason that you put yourself on mute, I know it's really easy to kind of jump in a conversation, especially those of us that know exactly what we're doing, exactly what's going on. Your prospect might ask the expert a question, and it's human nature to kind of jump in or add to what the expert's saying. I would highly recommend that you don't do that, even if you want to. If it's something that you feel the expert didn't touch on, we can touch on that after. Don't worry about it. Okay. The reason that you don't want to do that is because we definitely don't want to de-edify your expert after we just built them up prior to getting them on the call in the first place, right? So just definitely always keep yourself on mute to the end of the call. And then when they're done, go ahead, unmute, say, hey, thank you, Christy, for talking to my friend Frank. Frank, thank you. And then hang up. Do not stay on the phone with your prospect after your expert has hung up. Okay, that is, we've learned that from trial and error years and years ago, because again, even though you don't know it, psychologically, you've just continued to de-edify that expert, even though they're not on the phone. Okay, you can always follow up later and with your prospect, or follow up with the expert, say, hey, you didn't touch on this, you didn't touch on that, or you know what, that's an awesome job, that's exactly what they needed to hear. Just follow up and let us know so we can get better too as experts, right? When the expert is going through whatever it is the prospect needs, by the end of that call, you should have a clear vision on where you're at. Whether they're ready to sign up as a consultant, whether they're ready to try the product, 30-day money-back guarantee, and become a customer, or they really need more information. And that expert will get that information out of them for you. So at the end of the call, if they're not ready to do anything and they're just, you know what, that sounds awesome, I'm not ready yet, but I sure wish I had more information on that product. Then now you just take a note, okay, my prospect's not ready yet, but they liked what they heard so far. Let me send this information to them. Or, you know what, I sure wish I had the ingredients on this, micro daily that Dr. Prasad formulated. We'll help you get them to the next step, whoever your expert is. And then we may have to follow up again, or we maybe welcome them to the team. It just depends. But that's kind of just like a quick, brief overview of what it is. And for now, before we get to Q&A at the end, I want to know if there's any questions or concerns or comments, any stories that anyone would like to share with the group about their experiences with three-way calls. If you do, please go ahead and unmute.
Hey, Trey.
Hey.
I think three-way calls are very underutilized and absolutely important. I think an example, Christy's been talking to someone for ages. That person was a nurse. She got me on a three-way call because of my background with medical. We could talk medical. It made sense. Not only did she sign up as a customer, she went L2 in her first.
That's right.
So I think three-way calls are really, really important. Too often our friends know us, and that should give us credibility. But the reality is, we've seen this all with our families, especially our spouses. If somebody else, if our spouse says something 10 times and we just kind of hear it, but don't really hear it, and somebody else says it, like, oh my God, that's a great idea. How many times do our spouses do the head slap because they've been saying it all along? It just gives that extra validation.
Absolutely. So. Thank you, Susan. You're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. And you also, Susan, thank you for saying that, because you reminded me of one other thing I wanted to touch on with three-way calls. If you have a prospect that you're trying to tailor towards a specific person in your upline or downline, then I would just reach out to them individually. And set that up just with that one person. For example, you already know my background is athletics. I'm a former college basketball coach. Joey in Las Vegas has a prospect, a friend of his that is big into optimal health, big into athletics, former football player, played in the NFL for 7 years. He wants to tailor that person towards me because he knows we have a similar background in athletics and possibly professional sports. So Joey's not going to send out a group text on who's available. He's just going to reach out to me personally, like, Trey, hey, I got a prospect that I need you to talk to. Okay, and then that's what we'll do kind of on the side. So Susan, thank you for that. You triggered that. I forgot to mention that. So you can actually do it either way. It's totally up to you, okay? And then we'll set it up that way. Any questions or comments? Hi, Debbie.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. So just to kind of, I guess, piggyback off this whole conversation, we all know that the importance of three-way calls. One of the challenges I think that most people have is making it happen in the first place. So I'm finding that by starting the three-way chat first, introducing that person to the person that ultimately you're going to get them on the phone with, they're not as intimidated or afraid to get on the phone with that person because they now kind of feel like they know them just a little bit, like that little introduction. Because I find that transition to go from, sometimes it's really hard, even for myself. It's sometimes that what is that right way? Or you're on that phone and it is weird if they don't, for a lot of people going, okay, well, I'm going to get somebody on the phone who's going to help you. It's just, they do get panicked. So I think that little subtle introduction is making an easier transition for people who are really afraid to try to make that connection or make that thing happen when they're on the phone with their prospect. So that's where I just love that whole three-way chat, because it just gives a little bit of an introduction, kind of eases their mind. Like, this person's not trying to sell me. They're not trying to, it's just like, hey, I'm just, my opening is very much, listen, I've added my friend, Susan, to our conversation. She's my friend, and she happens to also be a retired physician. She's going to be able to better answer your questions, most certainly, than I ever could, and it's, so they're like, oh, okay. and it's easier to do. That's my approach.
Uh-oh. Thank you.
Mm.
Debbie, that's such a good point. That's such a really good point. And it does just make it more comfortable for the consultant, and it makes it more comfortable for the prospect as well. I love that.
I agree, Christy and Debbie. Thank you for that. And you're absolutely right. Especially for a new person, it can be awkward. I remember when Christy and I started three-way calls years ago, I don't even know about a three-way group chat. Like, we were just thrown in there, and, you know, we just had to do it, right? So I love technology, and I love how it makes our life easier. When we didn't have that technology, or at least we didn't know about it, when three-way calls was new to us, it was awkward. You know, we had to, that first one felt weird. You know, like, hey, you know, I felt like I was telling, well, I really don't know what I'm talking about, but let me get this person over here for you, okay? But actually, over time, it just got easier and easier and easier. It just became more and more natural. Just like, you know, riding a bike. You know, you go from your training wheels and falling to all of a sudden I'm zooming around the block with no training wheels, showing off for the girls, right? So the more you practice, the better at it you're going to get. Whether it's the three-way group chat, I think it's awesome. And you're right, Deb. Use that if you're super shy. It is a great way to do a quick introductory. But no matter how you do it, let's just do it. Okay? And I promise you, the more and more you do them, the more comfortable you'll be with them. And just know, even some of us that have been in the industry for years, we still utilize three-way calls. And do we have an idea of what we're talking about? I would like to think we would, you know, but that's not the, you know, remember, that's not the purpose. The purpose is to get yourself out of the way. Like Susan said, you know, my wife had someone, you know, that she had been talking to for months. Then finally, Susan got on the phone, and the timing was right, and decided to join us, and I'm so thankful for that. So,
What I will add this too, out of the 3 people, and it's only been 3 people I did a three-way with Susan, all 3 of them have signed up.
because Susan's awesome.
Well, that's a good statistic.
But that my point is, like, it works.
Right.
You know,
It does
it
work.
definitely works. So if you're avoiding that, anybody here on the team, I encourage you to, no matter what it takes, if it's a subtle introduction or whatever, get people on the phone, because I mean, that third-party validation it's just huge. And yes, Susan, you rock.
Yes, she does. And yeah, I again, I can't echo that, what Debbie just said, more. She's absolutely right. And if you're a little nervous about it, you know, just do it. Get yourself out of the way and just do it, because you definitely don't want to hold yourself back, you know, in growing your business. So, you know, just do it. The worst. Go ahead, Chris. I was just going to say, the worst you can do is if you mess something up, we just try it again, and we try it again and try it again. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Oh, I've dropped three-way calls. I have not been able to connect people before. I mean, it happens, and it's not a big deal. One thing I would just say is don't call it a three-way call to your prospect, because that's really weird. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, don't say, I'm going to get you on a three-way call with my friend or my business.
Or my upline. Don't say
yeah,
that.
your upline. No upline. Yeah, there's certain words. I don't know. What are some other words that we just do not use? But don't use three-way call or three-way. That's just like really weird. And and also use them at sit-downs. If you're doing sit-downs, like I do, I've been doing a lot of like, let me just reconnect with friends, right? Because I've been so busy with life and business and life again that I've just disconnected from a lot of my friends. So I just make it a point to try to connect with a couple friends a week, you know, for happy hour or for coffee. And at that point, you're not going to do a three-way call. But if you are actually just doing a sit down to talk about engage, you know, get one of us on the phone. If you are doing a shake it up party, get one of us on a Zoom. You know, you're going to use the three-way calls in different ways too.
Right. Thank you, Christy.
Success is right outside your comfort zone. You've got to get uncomfortable.
Right. Right. Okay. Any other questions on the three-way calls before we finish with Q&A? All right, well, let's open up the lines for questions and answers on for anything to anyone for the greater good of the team. And then after that, we'll wrap up our Saturday.
I had asked Susan
Yep,
a
go ahead,
question,
Deb.
and maybe I just didn't think it might have been known to everybody before, but I had to ask the question. But with the whole new all of it boost, where up to $1,000 is how you'll earn it in recruiting. So my question, and Susan had already gotten the answer, but in case it's not been shared with everybody yet, my question was kind of similar to what I asked on the Sunday call, with the whole people enrolling for $300, blah, blah, blah. But now with this new enrollment, you've got, which I love, you go in, it's $59.99. And then it's like, okay, pick your product or pick your pack, whatever, whatever. I know we've heard that before. I'm sorry. It just came out.
I never heard that.
I think some people know what I'm talking about. Pick your product, pick your pack. Anyway, so my question was, as far as pay goes, number one, if you're enrolling somebody for, they technically now could come in for, as long as they have their 100 PV and they're $60, they can get enrolled now for $160, which quite honestly, I'm happy about, because for some people, that's just what they're going to get in because that's all they've got. But, and I'm so happy that we're not going to discourage them from joining, because like you said, these people could be a rock star and we don't even know it just because they don't have $300. So that was one point. So the question now is, we know to encourage them, get more product if you can, because you're going to be able to sample it. We're going to try to upsell them. But if that's what it's going to take to get them in, I think it's great. I would love to see a 250 kit somewhere down the road. I love what we have with these 500 kits, 1,000 kits. I think it's wonderful. But as far as the pay went, I was unsure of how the payout would be. My question was, will we have to wait and see if you got $1,000 in recruiting before the payout comes? But what I was told and think is that we're actually going to get paid weekly. We're going to get paid a commission based on whatever the recruit was for that week. And then if we make it to 1,000, we'll be paid the difference at the end of the month or whenever that pay period comes. So I mean, that might have been common sense to a lot of people, but for some reason I had to ask.
No, yeah, and that has been a lot of, I'm glad you brought that up. So we get paid weekly for new activity, new consultants, new customers. When we earn the All of It boost, we will get paid the following month after we get paid on the 10th, or really the 11th. So, and then I think it's a few days after that is going to be the difference between your commissions, your 20%, and the boost. So, example, last month you earned the All of It boost. This month you're going to get paid, our on the 10th or the 11th, we get paid on our residual income, and then you'll get paid a few days later for the boost, because they have to calculate some stuff and finalize numbers, and the boost will come after that, is my understanding. So we'll get paid the following month. Weekly on new activity and monthly on the bonuses and residual income. Good question. Anybody else have questions or comments?
I got a question.
Yeah, hi Joey.
Hi. When you have potential customers that are looking to sign up, are the consultants walking them through to make sure that they're ordering, or are they kind of just, trusting that they're going to go and order for themselves?
Susan, you answer that. Tell them what you say.
I provide concierge customer service, and I will do it for them. And so what I do is, and that's the only, my only customers who've not ordered an Echo are those who signed up themselves. Okay. And so what I do is, the system I follow is everybody's username is going to be their first and last name with a capital in their first name, second name with the capital as well. And all of them have the same password, capital E for engage. And so that way it's like, look, you may or may not want the Echo, but you get a discount that you do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my phone on my calendar to follow up with you and make sure that you're still good to go. And so you get the discount, as well as, I'm going to be taking care of you. Now, it's just important to, give them that ease. So I sign up everybody. I have had a handful of people sign up on their own, and every single one of them has signed up without the Echo. So I just provide that extra concierge service. And I have one person, she, you know, because of when her husband gets paid, it's really hard for her to do the Echo. And so every month I go in, and sometimes I may need to pause the Echo until I know they're going to get paid. But when she does get that extra payday, she may say, hey, I want to put in a one-time order for 2 bottles to make sure we don't run out again. So, you know, you got to play with it a little bit and hold their hand. But I don't like to have people just sign up on their own, because they don't necessarily do it right, especially with a consultant with these new packages. Oh my gosh, I love these new packages, the $110 discount versus the $220 discount. I mean, I just think that's really nice extra value for people.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Christy,
Yeah.
can I chime in? This is Carolyn.
Yeah.
I echo Susan. I tell my customers, we're in this together, and I give you preferential treatment. So let me walk you through, and they give me the info, and I put it in, and I check with them on a regular basis. And the ones that are persistent on signing on their own, I said, okay, let's get on the computer together and let's walk it through, and we do it together. And so of all my people, I've only had one that didn't sign up as an Echo, and she already she canceled. She didn't even try it for the whole month. And I tell them, look, you didn't get like this overnight. Give yourself a 90-day run.
Yeah.
This is the life you have. So let's go for it. And I monitor them. And most of them trust me. I mean, some of them are out of the country, and they'll tell me, I'm going to be out of the country for 6 weeks. Pause my Echo, because I don't want to stockpile. I do it, you know. If we ever get to where we have 1,000 customers and we can't do it, then we need to hire somebody to help us. Okay. Right, Susan? But at this point, I take them, you know, because I just want to make sure that they get an Echo. And because I tell them, you get the discount, you don't get it. It's a one-time charge. You lose out.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll go on the record. I'll go on the record. Once we start having thousands and thousands of customers in our team, Christy and I will hire someone just to do our customers for us. I promise.
He's probably gonna hire me. Oh my goodness. So another thing, Joey, is I will just tell them that, you know, the Echo, I explain why it's important to get an Echo. They get the cheaper price, because now we are going to have a retail price versus Echo price. Cancel anytime, 30-day money back guarantee. And you're also going to get Engage Bucks, which will help you earn additional free product credit for the future. And I'm going to, I need to do this today. I need to email Wendy. I would like for her, if she will, make a sheet for us that we can send to our customers, like a thank you card with explaining the Engage Bucks, the Engage Bucks. We don't have to talk about the all of it credits as far as, yeah, that's awesome. But the Engage Bucks, and then also our additional products, you know, so if they're on Micro Daily, hey, you know, we have the Brain Boost and the protein as well, you know, so it'll be like a little sheet that they can use, that we can send to our customers as a thank you. And you may want to, like we did this in a previous company, send them a sample of something else. If they're on Micro Daily, send them a grab and go, or send them a hydro and, you know, a thank you card. Customers love that stuff.
Christy,
Yeah.
can you ask her to also add, like, in the dosages and instructions for using each product on that
Yes.
thing? So
Okay.
when we send it,
Yes. Dosage. Well, instructions and dosage are the same, right?
pretty much.
Okay. And we want the ingredients on there too, right? For the other product.
If they can fit all that, but
That's a lot of info.
yeah, that's a lot of info, I think, maybe a little. And a lot of times you get people that look at the ingredients on the Micro Daily and go, well, how is this different than my multivitamin? So I'd leave
That's
that up.
so true.
If they ask for it, we can send it.
That's true. Okay, so Engage Bucks and the dosage. Anything else on the sheet? Importance of an Echo.
If they can put a, you know, like a picture of the product somehow, that would be cool. But that might be getting too flashy. for a simple sheet.
She'll come up with something good. I'm just going to give her some ideas and we'll throw them around. If you guys have any other ideas, let me know. What's the best way? Hold on, somebody's asking.
Someone asked, what's the best way to sample MD if we are receiving it in the bottle versus the blister packs? And how many days do you give them? And are we sampling Brain Boost? How is that done?
Oh, so Susan's got it going on.
Okay, so what I did is, it is hygienically much better to have it in the blister pack.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I do is I have the brochure, I have the Micro Daily. I've got this cute little cloth thing. I just got a bunch of plastic ones that are that I can tie at the top. I'm going to try those because I ran out of these. And what I did is I put in 4-day sample of the Brain Boost. And I got these for $1.50 for 100 of them, I think, at Hobby Lobby. And they're little Ziploc baggies. So I put in 8 tablets. I put that in here. And so that's what I met with somebody this morning, is I gave her the sample pack of this. Obviously I make sure I wash my hands really good beforehand, pour it out, and then put it into here. This is not ideal. I'm really hoping that this is a stopgap until they start putting these in blister packs for us.
Yeah. And
if you're getting the Micro Daily in the bottles, you can call support and ask them to change your, well, actually as a consultant, you can go in the back office and change your Echo to be blister packs.
Correct. I order a few bags of blister packs for my sampling every day. And I do get quite a few. I need to keep track of the amount. Like I know Jessica sent out 29 samples and she got either, it was 11 customers and or consultants. So that's like huge.
That's huge. My numbers were not that.
That was her numbers, but everybody's number is going to be different. So you just have to find your ratio and then just improve on it. And the biggest key though, you guys, is going to be follow-up. That's the hugest key. And I think Evie's going to help us with that.
I agree.
Has Evie touched base with any of you guys? Yeah, me neither. Okay.
Response.
Okay. So I'll ask about that.
Okay. So that was a great question, Cheryl. And the only other thing that I would add is remember that Brain Boost is complemented by Micro Daily. So I wouldn't ever sample Brain Boost by itself. Sample it with the Micro Daily if you decide to sample it at all. Another tactic could be just to, go with the 30-day money-back guarantee with the MD, and then promote the Brain Boost to complement it for the, for the additional $20-some.
Right.
So it's totally up to you, but just make sure that you don't sample the Brain Boost ever by itself, if that makes sense.
Can I explain briefly why that's important? Just so
yes, Susan, please go ahead.
So the beauty of this thing is it decreases inflammation, but the key component, which is NAC, N-acetylcysteine, gets converted into the happiness aspect within our brain called dopamine. Okay, so think of this as decreasing inflammation as well as increasing our neurotransmitters, specifically dopamine. Okay, this also decreases inflammation, does it, kind of like on steroids in the brain, but has the building blocks to help with the neural transmission fibers. Okay, so by decreasing inflammation and having improved neural fibers, that's really important. But if you want to supercharge it, put them together, because this way you have the neurotransmitters as well as the fibers and increasing the anti-inflammatory, antioxidant effect. Does that make sense? Why they need to be together?
Yeah, very good.
So.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. But
Now,
I have a
people
friend.
understand why. If they understand why, they'll understand, because they'll look, but gee, this is only $30. I can afford that. Whereas they may not get the results they need.
Correct. Thank you so much, Dr. Susan. Does anyone else have any further questions for the greater good of the group? I know Christy and I always like to try and keep our Zooms under an hour if we can. Sometimes I know it's unavoidable, but we'd like to do that to value your time. Are there any other questions or comments or concerns that we can answer?
Can I, my friend has not been sleeping with both of the products, and she's getting hot flashes, like 4 a night, worse than she's ever. So I don't know if the product's not, you know, she said she stopped taking it at night, and I said, well, you need it twice a day. So now she's going to get off of it for a while just because she said, I keep getting hot flashes. Do you have any?
I know Susan could probably speak on the hot flashes.
I've not been sleeping as well with this by taking it at dinner time, so I'm taking it earlier in the day.
So am I.
You know, I'm taking this breakfast, lunch now. Okay. I've also noticed, just because of my brain injury, I'm had to take naps again, and I haven't had to do that for a long time. And I'm like, why am I tired? It's because it's remodeling in the brain. Okay. So that makes sense to me, but I had to take a step back and think about it for a minute. So I'm just taking, you know, I'm still taking this twice a day, and I'm taking 3 of these twice a day. Okay. I've taken an increased dose. As far as hot flashes, that kind of makes sense because, you know, it can, you know, this does influence, I mean, anything that we're doing in the brain is going to influence the hormones. It's also 115 degrees here. So I don't know if she lives here or not.
Illinois.
Illinois? Yeah, well, that's Illinois. It's hot and humid there. But, you know, it does kind of make sense to me knowing that the ingredients in here, you know, can have that phytoestrogen aspect, which can, you know, affect the hot flashes just a little bit. But, you know, I think the benefits are still going to be amazing. Have her take it earlier in the day. Have her take it breakfast, lunch. See how she does.
Well, she started without the brain boost, and she was getting hot flashes with just the Micro Daily. So I don't know. What should I tell her?
Well, you know what? Helen Ashby's been in for a long time, and whenever somebody has any type of reaction or, you know, like maybe a symptom, she says that's good. That means the product's working. Keep pushing through. I have heard many stories where this is helping with hot flashes and menopause. So, so they just have to kind of find, you know, what's going to work for them. And how long has she been on it?
Month and a half.
Okay. And, you know, if she's open to keep trying it, then great. If she's not, then great. I mean, you can't force anybody to use our micronutrients. So
Melinda, you can do a 3-way chat with me and with her if you want.
Thank you. Nice. I don't have your number, Susan.
We'll make sure you get it.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Anything else?
Yeah, I have a question for Susan.
Yeah.
Okay, Susan. I know. Poor thing. Susan, I have a girl that has IBS, and she said that her doctor thinks that the product might have flared it up. Do you have anything to say about that?
I'm not sure I understand why they think it would flare it up. I mean, that doesn't make sense because this is all about decreasing inflammation. Okay, so that doesn't make sense to me. We do know that there's a huge, you know, kind of thinking out loud, there's a huge brain gut interface. And as we're healing the brain, we'll be healing the gut as well. Okay. So, you know, sometimes, you know, people may have, sometimes, you know, when we're going through detox with the stuff, you know, for me, I had GI upset and headaches and felt like crap for the first 2 days on this.
Okay.
Did I know what it was doing? It was detoxing. So if she's having detox symptoms, that may mimic an IBS flare.
Okay.
Just because it's, you know, you got to get rid of the toxins toxins somehow. So when you're getting rid of the toxins, you're going to pee it out. So your pee may have a different odor. I don't know if anybody's noticed that. They may have a headache just because you're pushing through so much more fluids. But your gut can also be affected as well because you've got to get the toxins out. So it's not necessarily, again, re-education of your friend, or put her in a 3-way chat with me on Facebook, that's fine. But it's probably more the detox symptoms that she's going through as opposed to an aggravation of her IBS. It does not make sense to me why this would aggravate an IBS.
Okay, that's kind of what I told her. That's what I was thinking also.
Sure.
She's on the protein as well.
Okay,
So
the protein actually is the right thing for her. Now, when you're looking at the protein, and I know we're trying to keep this within the hour, the protein is really cool because not only does it open up the blood vessels with the citrulline, which converts to arginine, but it's got the insoluble as well as the soluble fibers, which are going to help grab a hold, kind of visualize it's going to grab a hold of those toxins and make them come out. That can lead to a little looser stool, a little bit of, GI issues just because it's releasing those toxins. But I think if someone is having more issues, putting them on the protein daily, plus having them take the micro daily and the brain boost is huge. So I think you're doing all the right stuff, Victoria.
okay. All right. And then I have one more question. I had another client that wanted to know about the silica in the micro daily, in the hydro.
I think it's just as a preservative.
Okay, because she said something about having to do with cats. I don't know.
To do what?
That something to do with cats, that it's in cats, in the, when you have cats that have litter, the litter box, silica is in that or something? I don't know.
It's an anti-clumping agent.
Okay, so like, what can I tell her? Because she's all freaked out because it has silica in it.
Sometimes you can't help those people. You just
Yeah,
right.
if they're not going to take
well,
it.
I think we can help her because she's actually still on it.
Oh,
But
that's good.
I think that just she needs to know in her brain, why is silica in this? You know what I'm saying?
It's just as an anti-clumping. Like when you have those little packets that you're not supposed to eat, when they put those into vitamin, it's just as a dry and anti-clumping agent.
Okay. All right.
So
Awesome. Thank you, Victoria. Go ahead, Joey.
Don't think so.
Thank you.
Susan, I got a question for you. So I have a very good buddy of mine. He's a former golf pro. He's suffering from fibromyalgia and it's getting worse. And he's been on medication and he's had some serious side effects from this medication. And I'm gonna actually, he's good on the micro daily, so I'm sending him samples. But obviously, I got to be super careful. He knows it's not going to be a cure, but what can the micro do handle the fibromyalgia for him?
Okay. So part of the challenge, and thank you, Joey, and I'm happy to do a 3-way call with your friend. Fibromyalgia is a very complex disease process. It's been overgeneralized for so many people and was kind of what we call a garbage pan or garbage pail diagnosis. If physicians didn't know what someone had, they called them fibromyalgia. Okay. We know that fibromyalgia is associated with sleep disturbances. Okay. We know that sleep is critical for repairing our processes, our neural processes, our pain pathways, especially, so I think restoring his sleep by using the micro daily, definitely think that using the protein as well as this. I mean, if he can do all three, if he's a former golf pro, he can afford all three, but definitely having him on the micro daily and this. The protein daily I really love because that's going to help open up and relax the blood vessels. Part of the challenge with fibromyalgia is one, the sleep disturbance. I used to put everybody on magnesium sulfate, which is going to help open up the blood vessels. Okay. So when you're looking at the different current thought process for fibromyalgia, it's an overactive pain response. And it's usually because things are not going where they need to go. Okay. So we want to help protect the nerves. We want to help protect the blood vessels. We want to help protect the muscles. Okay. and downregulate that overactivity of the pain response. Typically, physicians would put somebody on what's called Neurontin or gabapentin for fibromyalgia, which is exactly the wrong thing. It decreases the pain response, but also decreases the ability of the brain to heal by inhibiting what's called neuroplasticity, or laying down of new neural pathways. Okay, so when he is starting to take this for fibromyalgia, he may feel a little bit worse than better, just because we're trying to do a lot of healing process. So, you know, letting him know, hey, you really need to give it 90 days. Put him on the phone with me. I'm happy to talk to him. And, but helping him understand we need to get him sleeping. We need to get those blood vessels open. We need to have a mechanism for getting rid of the toxins. And we need to have everything that's going to decrease the inflammation. And that's really all three products in synergy. Does that answer the question for you, Joey?
Yes, ma'am. I had a conversation yesterday. So now he's possibly thinking gout might be part of the issue as well. So it's kind of a complex thing. That's why I just,
Well, it's fluid shifting. Gout's going to be associated with it just from fluid shifting and inflammation. So it makes sense.
Okay. I'll definitely see if I can get a 3-way call with you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so
There
much.
are a ton of stories on fibromyalgia and how it's helping, like amazing stories. I know Helen Ashby said that Microdaily was helping with fibromyalgia for the son. And usually it's not in men, if that's correct, Susan. It's a lot of times diagnosed with women. And then they did the brain boost, and oh my gosh, he's like thriving and doing so much better. He's like on fire sharing this product with people. So fibromyalgia is huge. So, well, you guys, this was such a great Zoom for our first Zoom. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys being on. And hey, Sassy, didn't get a chance to say hello to you earlier. Thanks for jumping on with us. Does anyone have any other questions for the group before we conclude?
No, it's been an awesome call. Very helpful, very informational. Thank you, Susan. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, everyone.
Adore you guys.
Yes, well, we adore all of you, and let me know what we can do to help. We're here for you, and hope to see you every Saturday, and let's build this and make more and more people, or have more and more people come on and join us on Saturday.
Yeah, please have your team on live with us. We really would like that. I know everything's going to be recorded, but would definitely love to have you on live as well, okay? So please continue to promote with your team, and let's blow this thing up.
Have a great weekend. Thank you.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.